Good morning, good morning. Another week of playoff hockey down, and nothing short of amazing so far. Especially last night, Blues absolutely blowing Winnipeg out of the water. Minnesota showing that they deserve to be here, and that team is completely different with Kaprizov kind of leading that squad. Toronto obviously is kind of running away with the series, but other than game one, Ottawa's been there, forcing overtime, making it difficult games for them, but it's looking like they're kind of on their way out. Carolina looks strong. Florida looks strong, winning 2 in Tampa. That's humongous. Matthew Tkachuk looks like he hasn't lost a step. Kind of feels like a little Vegas Mark Stone situation there, where he probably was fine a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe even 3. And they were like, "Yeah, we'll give him some rest and make sure he's good to go for the playoffs." But got a great episode. We are talking the Thrill. He is our player spotlight. Kaprizov's got 7 points in 3 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, and he is absolutely playing like he wants a shot to hoist Lord Stanley. And this Vegas team they were not ready for it. But he's played great. Next, we're going to be buying and selling. Who should you buy in and who should you get rid of? There's a good bit that you should get rid of, because there's a lot of people who've underperformed, but a lot of people who have stick there or increased their play level and really taken this playoffs seriously, and some faces that we probably haven't seen in a good while. So awesome to see that. I'm gonna go with my predictions after the first week of the playoffs, who I think is probably the strongest of the 16 teams participating, who's going to make it to next rounds and so on. Then we're going to go through our weekend slate, Saturday and Sunday, and then today in hockey history coming up next. First up is player spotlight. Kirill Kaprizov is a complete difference maker for this Wild team. Like I said earlier, 7 points in 3 games, but it's not even just his ability to score points. It's his ability to really be everywhere at the right time. The puck just seems to gravitate to his stick. He, obviously, you saw in Game 1 and in Game 2, the cross-ice pass in Game 1 to Boldy and then the saucer pass to Boldy. He just knows how to get stuff done. He knows the right times to do it. And, we saw that in the regular season. He only played 41 games this year. But when he was healthy and when he was on the ice, the Wild were one of the best teams, if not arguably the best team in hockey at the beginning of the season, even when Winnipeg was winning however many plus games in a row. So I think there's a lot of confidence now in this Minnesota team, especially after getting a win in Vegas. Crushing them at home last night is obviously humongous for them as well. So he's going to be leading this team. He had 56 points in 41 games. He's has over a point per game for his career, and he is a superstar. This kid is a superstar. He's been in the league for 5 years and almost 400 points. So this is going to be a huge playoffs for him. I think this is going to, though he is a superstar, I think he is very underappreciated by the entirety of the NHL. And myself included, I didn't really appreciate him until this season, or at least the beginning of the season, seeing him excel at such a crazy high level. This is going to put Minnesota in a good spot to be a strong team for a long time now. You have some consistency with Philip Gustafson. You have so many good other offensive and defensive players. Matt Boldy is a great young player. Matt Zuccarello is a wonderful vet. Sam Hartman has played a great series for them. So I really think that with Kaprizov leading this team, there's no reason why they couldn't make it to the Stanley Cup. I honestly think the Kings, if the Kings and or Oilers, if either win that series, it's going to be a close one. And I can't confidently say that any team is going to win, but I definitely can't say that the Kings or Oilers could beat them handily. But it's a fun little surprise. I think a lot of people thought Vegas was going to kind of manhandle them, but they have absolutely, picked themselves up. It was a pretty terrible second half of the season, or not terrible, but middling second half of the season for Minnesota, and they came in strong and they won some hockey games. And Kaprizov is the main reason for that. So he's our player spotlight, and I hope he can continue to win these Wild some games. Next up, get your pocketbooks out because we're buying and selling. First things first, we're buying Florida. I hate to say it, this squad looks good. Bob is outplaying Vasilevsky. Matthew Tkachuk is back. The penalty kill for Florida has been unbelievable. The power play has been great for them. Carter Verhaeghe's playing great. Reinhardt's playing great. I wonder what the injury status of Barkov is after that hit from Hagel. But yeah, it just kind of feels like Florida, especially winning both games, or game 1 and game 2 in Tampa, they just have Tampa by the underwear, dude. They're giving them the biggest wedgie right now, and they cannot get out of it. It's unfortunate because, so many people, Braden Point missing at point blank range on the backhand last night, which was really probably their biggest opportunity. Florida tightened up. They didn't allow really much of anything, and not to discredit Bob, he played a great game, but this Florida team really, a lot of people didn't think that they were going to be they kind of looked like the same team when they won the playoffs. Defensively dominant, and their main offensive group is able to make stuff happen. And Nick Schmidt, he's awesome, great clapper. It was a 1-0 game the majority of the game until the last minute. So I really think, again, it's anyone's series, but I'm buying big on Florida, especially after game 1 and game 2. Next is Toronto. Now, I think it's worth noting that Ottawa took him to 2 straight overtime games. I think Ottawa can easily beat this team, but being down 3-0, it's going to be difficult. Stolars is a freaking brick wall. That dude will not let anything through. He has proven himself and really, really, really shown that he is easily goaltender 1, and did exactly what any goalie would want to do, and that's show up when puck drop happens game 1 of the playoffs. He has been tenacious. He has just really set the tone to this Ottawa team that you ain't getting by me. Oh, and if you do get by me, it ain't going to be easy. So, super, super cool. Obviously, the Big Four. Game 1 was huge, and Marner's little hatchet pass to Matthews last night was awesome. They have to continue. They have to continue to produce. Benoit with obviously the game winner last night, and Max Domi in Game 2. And that's great. Having those people, having the confidence that this entire Toronto team has is going to be huge down the stretch if they make it past the first round. Because it's not always the stars who are able to produce in crunch time. Everyone has to be confident enough to shoot the puck, make the pass, or block a shot. Everyone has to be able to do that. Join the rush, everything. You have to be. You have to be able to be confident in yourself to partake in everything that the game has, even if you're not that great at it. And I think that this Toronto team has those people. I think Max Domi is one of those people. I think, Nylander, if you have Nylander, Tavares, Matthews, and Marner playing at a high level, it also, and even if they're not playing at a high level, you always have to play specifically to their game. Maybe not Tavares, but mainly the other three. And it allows other players to make plays, like Max Domi, like Matthew Nyes, Benoit, Morgan Riley, Bobby McCann. It will allow others to make plays, which is good. It's good. You need those top players to act as decoys sometimes. So I'm buying high in Toronto. This is a good Ottawa team, so I'm not really stunned that it has gone to overtime. Game 2 and Game 3, but it's a good team, and I think Toronto has kind of stayed true. Stolarz has been great, and I think this team is playoff ready, and they know exactly what they came here for. So next, Minnesota. Obviously talked about it earlier, but this team is awesome. And if they beat Vegas first round, I don't think anyone really had that on their hockey Stanley Cup playoff bingo card. But this team's good. This team was one of the best, if not the best, at the beginning of the regular season, and everyone is gelling. And that is a big part of the playoffs, is teams that are able to catch fire at the right time. And this Minnesota team is catching fire. Granted, they're only up 2-1. We got another game in Minnesota. But that's big for them. They've proven that they can win in Vegas, and they play. It's not necessarily effortless, but they play a brand of hockey that is A, fun to watch, B, the chemistry is so apparent, especially with that first line and second line. And again, if you're catching fire at the right time, now is the time to do it. Another team that I'm buying, LA Kings. Yes, Stuart Skinner's not great, and I don't know what happened to the Edmonton penalty kill, but it is completely gone, non-existent. It no longer exists. I think that's enough. This is going to give them enough confidence, especially to do this to a team who was in the Stanley Cup final last year. They are playing so well. Adrian Kempe is an absolute beast. Kopitar, absolute beast. Fiala, there's so many different pieces to this team that are unbelievably good. And you also have Darcy Kemper, who's playing the best hockey of his career, catching fire at the right time. It's going to be the biggest thing. I really think the Kings, again, very premature. We've seen crazier things. Edmonton could win the next 4 and bounce the Kings. And same for Vegas. But I'm I'm buying these teams because I really think the way that they've handled the first 2 or 3 games of their series, they have proven that they're not a team to be kind of glossed over. Now to selling. Obviously, New Jersey. They just don't have it. They played a lot better than Game 1 against Carolina, but I just don't think they have enough firepower to really go up against this Carolina defense or really any other team in the playoffs, especially the teams that they're going to possibly play if they beat Carolina. They just don't have anyone to take over the game. You don't have Jack Hughes. I'm pretty sure, or what it said, I don't know the injury status of Luke, but they're banged up. They're a little banged up. And Markstrom, as great as he has really been, he's played really, really well. I don't think there's many shots that have gotten by him that I'm like, he should have had that, or that it wasn't necessarily a defenseman's fault. It can't be enough. That Carolina team is balanced both offensively and defensively, and you see it. They're just a better team, and they play tonight. I think they're obviously in New Jersey, and I think it's going to be another win another dash in the win column for Carolina. And probably my biggest take for buying and selling is I'm selling Washington. Obviously, Ovi will do his thing. He has played unbelievably great this whole series, only 2 games, but continuing the momentum from the regular season. But obviously both games, I think Montreal definitely could have won. Sam Montembeault is playing really, really well for his first playoff series. Everyone who is participating is playing really, really well for their first playoff series. They're not able to get a whole lot offensively going, and they are, playing from behind, but they're making it an interesting game. So, with that being said, I don't have as much confidence in Washington as I did coming into this. They didn't necessarily play great at the end of the regular season, so I don't know if that has continued, but I'm not as high on this Washington team as I was come beginning of Stanley Cup playoffs, or really last week. So, and this Montreal team, there's no way that they couldn't come back in the series. Down 2-0. Again, we've seen crazier things. I could see it happen. I really could. Next up, what have we learned so far in this playoffs? Mackenzie Blackwood is a really, really good goalie. Yeah, they're down in series. This kid's nice. This is a very talented offensive Dallas team, and he's fared really, really well. I think this could be kind of what Colorado needs in having someone because I think the thing that they haven't had, other than the year that they won the Cup, last few years they just haven't had really consistent goaltending. And for this team to be so great with so many stars on a team, you need a goaltender to make your team complete. And I think that's what we got. And that's what we've seen so far. And I hope he has a great rest of the playoffs. Again, I hope Dallas wins the series, but if they take it to 7, and he's the reason why they take it to 7, that's cool with me. If you take Kucherov out of the game, the Lightning are pretty much out of the game. Not that there isn't a lot of great players on that team, but Florida has played defense so tactfully that this Tampa Bay offense is not producing the way that it should. He really hasn't been much of anywhere this whole series. Point obviously hasn't been great. Hagel hasn't been great. Sorelli, Gensel's been pretty much their only real consistent offense. And we're seeing it. And if Tampa wants a shot at beating the reigning champs, he's got to play good. This whole team needs to increase their play level, because currently losing 2 on the road the way that they did, it mentally, I'm sure it kind of weans yourself out of it, really, but it's not how I saw this series going. I really thought that it was going to split games 1 and 2, but this Florida team really they have really upped their game. They really have. Next thing, Stuart Skinner is super duper mid. That is the one thing in the offseason that Edmonton has to change. I don't know if you put Pickard in there. I don't know. I'm speaking for the remainder of the playoffs. I don't know what you do, but he should not be your starting goalie next year. I don't know his contract. Doesn't matter. Get him out of there. Find someone else. Seriously. It's bad. It's really bad. They can't continue to play this way. Rely solely on the offense and just not really care about the defense. They can't continue to do it. They're not going to win. They're not going to even get to a Stanley Cup again if this is the way that they're going to continue to do it. It's just how it is. LA Kings are offensive machines. We know this. And they're one of the best home teams in the NHL. And we saw it. Game 1 and Game 2. Oilers they just don't see it. And they play in Alberta today or tonight. Hopefully they're able to make some sort of shift. McDavid, he can't score 4 points a night. And you can't expect him to do that. And that can't be the only reason that you win hockey games. If you're the Oilers, someone else, Draisaitl obviously is going to do his thing. Someone else has to pick it up. Be a standout. It's not going to be Stuart Skinner, that's for sure. Someone has to help McDavid and Draisaitl, and it can't be... It needs to be someone who wants to continue to play hockey for the remainder of this playoffs, because it does not seem that anyone else really is putting in the effort. But Otter, my boy Otter down in Dallas, he's going to win the opening series for Dallas. I think, no J-Rob, no Miro. I think we have seen the impact that has. I think defensively, there are times where Colorado is just completely overwhelming Otter, and I think that he's done a good job of kind of standing tall. I think he played a great game in Game 3, and I think he's going to be the reason why they win the series. Really, I think make it all the way to the Stanley Cup, because he has not fared in the playoffs super well his entire career, and I think this is going to be his turnaround playoffs where he completely shuts people down and gets it going. But that's what we've learned, peeps, and we're going to learn so much more. We're only a week in. Know what else we learned? I love the St. Louis Blues. I love them, and I hope they crush Winnipeg. And they did last night. 7-2. Buchnevich with a patty, scored the first 2 goals of the game. That St. Louis crowd is nice. That gets you pumped up. I'm all in on St. Louis. Bennington played great. So yeah, I'm huge on them. I think their power play's good. And they got some good players on that team. Go Blues. Now we got weekend slate, Saturday and Sunday's playoff games. Starting on Saturday at 1 p.m., we got Tampa Bay, Florida. I love midday hockey. And especially this game, which is obviously a must win for Tampa Bay. In Sunrise, Game 3 in Sunrise. Have to. It's a must win, I think. They have to, if they don't come out of the gate firing first period, if they aren't winning at the end of the first period, I really think it's game over. Because Florida is a team that can play all 3 periods. They have the stability to do that and the endurance to do that. Where I think Tampa can put together a complete game, but just not at the level that Florida can. Then we got Vegas and Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota. Minnesota, it's 4 p.m. on TBS. I'm going to go Minnesota because I want them to win so bad. I'm all in on the underdogs this year. All in on the underdogs. Game 4. Toronto and Ottawa. Toronto and Ottawa. I want Ottawa to win a game. I'd like for them to make it interesting. Ottawa's going to win it, make it 3-1. Toronto will win the next in 5 games. Then we got Dallas and Colorado tomorrow at 9:30. I think Colorado's going to make it interesting. I think it's going to be difficult for Dallas to win 2 in a row in Colorado. I think the dog is going to be out to play, and he's going to really uplift this team to a win. And Sunday, Winnipeg, St. Louis at 1 p.m. I love that. And then we got a 3:30 game. Yes, love that too. First one, Winnipeg and St. Louis. I'm going St. Louis. I'm riding high. They're tying the series, making it 2-2. Going back to Winnipeg. Then Carolina, New Jersey, 3:30. I'm going Carolina. They're going to win tonight, and they're going to win the series on Sunday. Washington, Montreal. Currently, the series is 2-0. I want Montreal to tie the series. They're winning tonight, and they're winning on Sunday, tying the series. That's my hot take. And then LA, Edmonton. They play tonight. I really want them to tie it up. Make it an interesting series. Have some fun with it. But I just don't know. I don't think they can keep doing or playing the way that they play and continue to find success. So I am going to go Edmonton wins this next game. Game 3, Game 1 in Edmonton. And then lose Game 4 in Edmonton. So LA goes up 3-1. Playoff hockey is the absolute best thing to ever happen to professional sports. It really is. And finally, for our last segment of the episode, we got Today in Hockey History. Today, April 25th, 1989, Penguins' Mario Lemieux ties NHL playoff record of 4 goals in 1 period. That's nuts. 4 goals in a period is nuts. Came in a 10-7 win over the Philadelphia Flyers. 10-7. Clearly 0 goaltending in this game. Obviously nothing crazy happened in the first period. Imagine you're the Flyers. You're the Flyers. You're going up against Mario, who's obviously a dog. Hall of Famer. One of the best ever. and he drops 4 on you in the first period. Just imagine the tone. Imagine that bench. Imagine the glares from the Flyers players to the goaltender. How do you let 4 goals on one person in one period? That's awful. That's awful. First person to do it, Tim Kerr, 1984-1985 season for the Flyers in a 6-5 win against the Rangers. Second period, had 4 goals. Only 2 players ever to have 4 goals in a period in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's today in hockey history. All right, everybody, that is it for me. Actually, wanted to shout out this hat right here. And also wanted to shout out NFL legend John Gruden for shouting out the bits. I love that. This podcast is based in Easley, South Carolina, which is about 25 minutes away from Bon Secours Arena, which is where the Greenville Swamp Rabbits play. And I'm loving that they're getting some love. I've been watching that team for a very long time. They've been a plethora of other team names. Growl, Road Warriors when they were a New York Rangers affiliate. And then now they are the Greenville Swamp Rabbits and the LA Kings affiliate. So shout out to John Gruden for shouting out the bits. That has been a big part of my childhood, and it's just super cool. Shed some light on a team that means a lot to the city of Greenville. But other than that, absolutely great playoffs, and it is only just getting started. Only 3 games in. I look forward. I don't think the only sweep I think we're going to see is Carolina. I think Carolina is the only team that's going to sweep. But other than that, we have some good series ahead. Good hockey ahead. We're going to see some people have some incredible games. Hopefully we see some nobodies coming out of nowhere with huge plays, game-winning plays, game-saving plays. So please, if you haven't started already, it's okay. It's not too late. There's still so much left to watch. Please, I encourage you. This is the hockey that you're going to want to watch. And it's on ESPN, it's on TBS, it's on TNT, it's on Max, and it's on Sling. I bought Sling solely to watch the NHL playoffs. Go do it, peeps. Go watch some hockey, and I'll catch you guys next week.